Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. In the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. Energy management. Oh my gosh, isn't that a big thing in our life? Trying to figure out how to manage our energy with all the things that we would like to do. And it's not always easy, especially because our energy levels are up and down throughout the day. They fluctuate throughout the day, from day to day, from week to week, from month to month, from year to year, from season to season. And so it's hard to always figure out how to manage your your energy. So there's a couple things I want to talk about managing your energy. Number one, when you're managing your energy, the important thing is to prioritize. You have to prioritize your life to know what is the most important things, the things that have to get done, so that you can know where to expend your energy. Now, the thing about prioritizing is sometimes there are some things that are big in us, but are not necessarily a priority. Um, but then there are some things that are not our favorite things to do and that are things we would rather not do. And so we want to make that our least priority. However, they're like the number one things we really absolutely need to do. So when you're prioritizing, be honest with yourself. Be honest with how you label and you organize and prioritize the things on your list that you're going to sit down and say, these are the most priority things. But when you're prioritizing, don't just put um, business and serious things as your number one priority. Don't forget to put down things like spending time with your family, relaxing, doing things that refresh you and energize you, making sure you enjoy your life. Now, as for me, for my priorities, there are things that I have to prioritize, like my health. Because if I don't prioritize my health, then I'm not going to be here longer. I'll be here in a miserable state, and that's not acceptable for me. So I have to prioritize making sure I'm doing things for my health. So I have to make sure that I'm doing my physical therapy and that I'm eating and working out and all the things I need to do to keep this body healthy, getting the rest that I need. So those type of things, putting good fuel in, those type of things, and any treatments and things that I have to do. But I also have to prioritize things like my family is number one. Yes, I homeschool, that's a priority, but spending that quality time with my family is number one. Um, I want to prioritize things like that. That's important to me. Prayer is important to me. So I make sure that I try to make sure that I pray every morning, although I'm praying throughout the day, but I try to set aside some time just dedicated for prayer and Bible study and things like that with my family. But what I wanted to share with you also is that when you're prioritizing and you're trying to make sure you're using your energy and expending your energy in the right way, I don't think it's fair personally. And I had to learn this kind of the hard way. And it wasn't anything my family said or anything that they did, but I came to the realization of myself. And I had to make these changes is that sometimes you can prioritize things and you're so in this fight and you're pushing to get ahead and you're pushing to do the things that you need to do and you're fighting like the Dickens, right? And when you get that energy, you're using your energy to push towards these things and to get out of these things and to do these certain things. Well, what I realized is I was doing that and I was pushing to make sure that if I had my energy, I was going to push to use my energy for this. Every week I was using my energy for this thing here. But what I found out was that my family is taking care of me 24/7. I push to go, I come home, I'm out of it for, sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks, for days, definitely at a time. And my family has to tend to me. And they were spending all their time tending to me, but they weren't reaping the benefits of my energy. So I had to learn I had to first of all realize that and realize that it wasn't fair for them and that I was missing out. I was missing out on time with my husband, on time with my children, on cultivating those relationships. Because, when you go through health issues, you are aware of the fragility of life. And so making memories is very important. not just for you, but for your loved one, for my children, for my husband. And so it was really important to me that that I was having good times with my children, and that I was cherishing those moments with my children and even with my husband. And so to make sure that they got to benefit from my energy and benefit from all the care that they were taking care of me, I did not feel that it was, I didn't think it was fair for them to have to do all this tending to me in a down state. And when I was in an up state, they weren't really reaping the full benefit of it. And sometimes when you're going through real hard battles, right? Your energy may not, it may be very low and you may get small bursts. And those little small bursts, you guys, I wasn't giving to them, I was giving to something else. Now, so how did I deal with that? I had to balance that out. So that means that I may go, right? But not every time, right? I may have to go to whatever it is that I was doing, right? But not every time. So that sometimes when I get that energy, it's face to face time interacting with my family, and they get to benefit from that. So you want to make sure as you're going through the things that you're going through and you're spending your time and you're figuring out how to distribute distribute your time, make sure that you're handling the things that you need to handle with your energy, but you're also putting some playtime, some fun time for you in there, and time for your family in there. Sometimes you have to put things on a rotation, and the rotation isn't always this week that, next week this week that. You have to be able to gauge it and balance it, because life throws a lot of things at us sometimes, and so sometimes you have to just be able to go with the flow of it. But make sure you're making the most out of every moment, out of every conversation. Make sure that you're having time where you're really listening, where you're really paying attention, where you're really soaking up the moment, where you're really pouring out and giving all of who you are. And all things, remember, do you. Until next week. Bye.